apartment like I like my white garage doors.
Opening with a touch of a finger.
My wife's Armenian. It's terrible. I'm just kidding. No, we don't. We live in Burbank. Our son lives in Glendale. He's half Armenian, and he's half Armenian, half amazing. He joined the Armenian club at school. I go, what did you guys do? It's hilarious. I think it's mostly half Armenians in there. Because by the activities. I go, what'd you guys do? And he goes, today we listened to System of a Down.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. Yeah. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, now listen to a pocket party. Pocket party. Durant.
And we're back, everybody. It's your host, Darren Carter, the party starter. Thank you again for checking out the Pocket Party Podcast. That's my goal, is to either be your main podcast or at least in the rotation. So thank you. If you're one of the lucky people who's been given a Pocket Party Podcast sticker, thank you. Wherever you posted that sticker, take a picture of it and tag me on Instagram. Let me know where that sticker lives. And as you're listening to this podcast, do us a favor and give it a review on whatever platform you're listening to, especially if you have an iPhone and you're listening on Apple Podcasts. That really does help a lot. It totally does. And it's something you can do for free, and it's easy, and it takes less than a minute. You just go to Pocket Party Podcast on Apple and give it 5 little stars. You touch it, and 5 stars will pop up. And give it a little review. Just whatever you want to say, something hopefully positive. And now we're talking to Mike Black.
Hello.
Hello, Mike. How are you, my friend?
Good. How's it going?
Good, man. Do you hear any buzzing on your end? Are we good? I think we're good.
Very, very light. But if the audience can't hear it, then I don't care.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was unplugging things, plugging things in. So that's the thing. You know, everything can be going fine in your life, and then you have these technical problems. And sometimes it happens with podcasts, sometimes it happens with computers, sometimes it happens with your vehicle. And
the ladies. It can happen with anything.
The ladies, the robot lady I built in my kitchen, you know.
Right, yeah.
She's like, now that you built me, I must leave. Where is the front door? Goodbye.
She just eats batteries nonstop.
I know. I need more batteries. You want some of this double D? Please give me some D batteries. Yeah.
Goes looking for D batteries without the problem.
You're more of a AAA type of guy.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm getting dissed by my own robot woman I created in my kitchen.
They're like a watch battery. Oh, no.
Yeah. I said I like to watch. You're more like a watch battery.
Getting roasted by your robot wife is the worst.
Dang it. I know. Yeah. Why are you so slow? I don't know. I'm trying to think of something about being rusty or something. I don't know. Maybe if you gave me more reason to lubricate my machinery in the inner working. Sorry, this is getting stupid.
Oh, no.
This robot took a turn.
She ran off with the Roomba.
Oh, yeah. And they are doing the Roomba.
Yeah.
You come home and your robot woman that you've created in your kitchen is like attracted to your other appliances more than you.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
I like a bad boy. The vacuum cleaner is attached to a dirt bag.
This is so stupid.
I know. Hey, but no one's getting canceled over this material.
I like that the robot lady that you built in your kitchen, is it?
Yeah, kitchen. I don't have a basement. We in California, we have kitchens.
So you built in the middle of the kitchen. That she still talks like a 1950s robot. She like the technology is not improved.
Yeah, I know. That's It's funny. My wife made a little funny joke one time. Well, I went to this. Okay, let me start out. I was playing chess. I love chess, right? I love playing chess. But it's
You call it chess?
chess, like checkers, chess.
Okay, yeah.
I like chess. You bump chests. No.
Yeah, that's a much different game.
Chess is fun if you're playing with someone that you guys are about the same level. It's not fun when they're a beginner and you've been, they don't even know how the pieces. You can't really play. And if they're way too good, it's not that fun because every time you make a move, they're just like, "Why did you do that? You should have done the fianchetto." And they're naming classic chess moves. There's a guy in our neighborhood who's a chess coach, but he teaches like children. And I was walking the neighborhood, and apparently, like his girlfriend, she does comedy. So the girlfriend is who I recognize, or she recognized me, and we were talking, and she's like, "Yeah, da da da. Hey, my boyfriend's a chess coach, da da da." And I was in the neighborhood, and he goes, "Yeah, check it out." And they had in their backyard, they had like they had like a chessboard with chess pieces that were about 2 feet tall. So it was like life size, where you pick up the chess piece, you walk across, and you place it down where you want to put your chess piece, right? And it was really fun. It's very humiliating when you're actually taking the piece and you're walking over there like, "I think this is a good move."
Right.
When it's just your finger, like no big deal, no, nobody's, but it's more humiliating to like show everyone like, "Look how dumb I am walking over here."
It probably makes you really think about your moves a lot more, though.
It does. And I was thinking it could also be kind of a workout if they made them like each piece weighed like 30 to 50 pounds. Then you're like, you're putting on your weight belt, burning some calories mentally and physically. And the lady, his girlfriend, she wanted to make us coffee, but the way she said it was kind of like she made like sort of a joke. She goes, "Hey, would you like me to make some coffee like a 1950s housewife?" And I kind of thought that was kind of funny. Like, "Oh yeah." So I told my wife that, and my wife, I go, "Hey, why don't you make me some coffee like a 1950s housewife?" And then my wife lovingly and jokingly fired back, "Why don't you make some money like a 1950s husband?" I was like, "Yeah, touche." Like,
That's really good.
I know. "Why don't you make some money like a 1950s?" Can you imagine your robot wife is just roasting you?
Yep. Yeah.
"Why are you not wearing a suit indoors like they do on television in the 1950s?
Yeah, you have like special guests that drop by. Oh
yeah, wacky neighbors. They're all.
Yeah, my robot family.
My robot family. Yeah, they. But I wanted to talk to you about that. I know earlier this week I said, "Hey, meet me at this club," and you go, "Hey, my car's in the shop," and then we were talking, and it was kind of a fond memory for me when you said, when I go, "It's in the shop," and I think you said it was someone in your neighborhood or building or something that was working on your car.
Yeah, they helped me out. He's a retired mechanic, and it saves me a lot of money in LA. If you go to like one of the big mechanics, they really try to upsell you and screw you over a lot of the times. Not all of them. There are a few that are legitimate, but even legitimate ones, you're looking at hundreds and hundreds of dollars each time you go.
Oh yeah. When you said that, I was like, man, that's great. If you have someone that's close by, you don't have to worry about getting your car towed there. And
yeah,
I think they used to use an expression like a shade tree mechanic. You ever heard that? Like a shade tree mechanic? That means just like a local yokel who knows his way around like nuts and bolts.
No, I'd never heard that. That's obviously something you picked up at the county fair or something.
Yeah, one of my bumpkin activities.
Yeah.
He's a shade tree mechanic. Come on now.
Yeah.
Got your monkey wrench on you, boy?
Yeah. That very much sounds like something that would happen there.
Up in Fresno. Did you get your car? Is it repaired?
Yeah.
Oh, good. And what was wrong with the car?
I don't know exactly. It just wasn't working well. You know?
Oh wow, you're less mechanically inclined than me. I would at least be like, okay, it's making a noise or something. Like,
Yeah, that's what was happening. It was making a noise and not running very. It was like rattling a lot. You know?
oh, that's cool. So he fixed whatever. He said, hey, it was this, and this, and it's gonna.
Yeah.
Were you pretty much uninterested? You're like, just tell me what it is, just fix it and tell me how much. You're like at that level of like, that's the level of interest I need to know.
I don't want to waste his time making him explain to me everything.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I'd imagine that's probably the worst part of that job
Oh yeah.
is having to go, okay, person who obviously doesn't know anything about this or care. Let me explain how a powertrain works to you.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're just sitting there with the dumb look on your face, scratching your
Yeah,
chin.
waiting for him to finish. And I go, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought too. No, it isn't. Because I wouldn't be here if it was what you thought too.
Dude, I had a car problem a couple months ago, and I remember the guy goes, pop the hood, and I've popped the gas. You know, I know how to do the gas lever. I know how to pop the trunk.
Yeah.
And it was dark, so I know where the hood lever is. At least I thought I did, and I know it's near the driver, you know, near the steering wheel. And I'm looking, I can't see it. I'm like, and he's like, yeah, go ahead and pop the hood. Like I don't think he thought maybe I didn't hear him. And I'm like, oh God, I'm trying, and I'm just like looking, and I normally have my flashlight on me. I did not have my flashlight on him, so I couldn't even see where it was at. And I was like, and after about 30 seconds goes by, I went towards the front of the hood, and I was like, you know, I can't find the lever. And he goes, oh, this is I have a Honda. He goes, oh, Honda's usually it's, and then he goes, here it is, and he did it right away. And I'm like, ugh. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Well,
that's embarrassing.
my car has a thing where once you pop the hood, there's still like a safety latch in the actual hood
Oh yeah, yeah.
that you have to trigger too.
Yeah.
And so you can look like an idiot if you just waiting there and they're like, okay, like really pop it this time. And it's like, oh, I did.
We sound like two defeated strippers. Pop, come on, man, pop it. I popped it. I did it.
Yeah.
I'm
Pay me now. You
Yeah,
know.
pay me now. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about the cars I've had, and I've only had, I want to say, 5 cars in my life.
Yeah.
I'll go backwards. Honda. So I had 3 Hondas in a row. And why do I have 3 Hondas in a row? Because I learned my lesson. And my lesson is I wanted something affordable and that would not break down. Like I don't,
Right.
you know, I had a friend, you know, years ago, he said, I don't care how much money you make. He goes, this is back then. I don't know if it's the same now. He goes, do not ever buy a Jaguar. It's expensive. The pieces are expensive. The parts, it breaks down.
Yeah.
So I've never had the goal of like, I want to get a flashy car and dump all my money. Cause I've had that experience. The previous car to all the Hondas was a Dodge Swinger. And that was a used car, obviously. It was from the 70s. And my very first car, which I never recommend, they don't even manufacture it anymore. Although it would be kind of cool just to kind of have one if you just drove it only on private property and didn't rely on it. And that was my first car was a Yugo.
Oh God.
Yeah, the older listeners may know a Yugo, but it was a 1987 Yugo. It was only a few years old when I bought it. And I remember my payments were $85 a month, and my insurance was, I want to say, $105.
Yeah. That's a steal, but was it worth it?
No, it looked it looked cool because I was 20. I think I was like 19 or 20. I mean, and I only did it for the price because it was affordable. I was like, oh, $85 a month, I could afford that. And even though I remember Jay Leno was doing all those jokes on the Tonight Show, everybody in the world in the late '80s was doing these Yugo jokes, and I was like, they're just jokes. But man, it was more than a joke. Like that car didn't even have it was very basic. Didn't even have a glove compartment. So there's no glove compartment. It was the trunk, not even a trunk. It was a hatchback thing that would pop open. So all your stuff is right there.
Where were you supposed to leave your license and registration? On the floor?
I think you put it, probably on the floor. Maybe they had like some kind of pocket somewhere that you would put. I remember there was no glove compartment.
God.
No center console. The windows, it was manual. You had to roll the window down with your arms. It was a stick shift. So it was stick shift. So I remember. Was it stick shift or was that my Honda? I don't remember if it was stick shift or not. I shouldn't say that. I know I think it was stick shift because I remember I used to have to push it to start it a lot.
No one's gonna come and like serve you papers that you lied to the audience about whether it's stick shift or not. You know that nobody besides you cares.
Exactly.
Whether it was a stick shift or not.
Yeah.
Focus on the donut, not the hole, Darren.
Hey, that's what she said. Ha 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 ha. You're focusing on the. Okay, let's move on. Yeah. But so I looked this up sort of as nostalgia. I was like, I remember all these stupid jokes going around, and I remember my car we had a local mechanic, but it was actually an auto shop. And when I lived in the Bay Area, and I would be able to, believe it or not, get the car to the auto shop, and they would repair it. And it got to the point where the guy was like, he goes, "You ever heard of the expression white elephant?" He goes, "You need to get rid of this. Go get a new car. Get something different. This is just causing you more problems. I'm seeing you every other weekend. This is not good."
Yeah.
And he was starting to tell me Yugo jokes, and that's what you don't want. You do not want your own mechanic telling you jokes about your car.
Right. And if your mechanic is advising you to get a different car because you're bringing them too much business,
yeah,
you have a bad car.
I know. Here's some of I looked up some of these classic Yugo jokes. All right, here we go. What makes a Yugo go faster? A tow truck. Why do Yugos have a rear window defroster? So you can keep your hands warm while pushing it.
Oh, God.
A man goes into an auto parts store and asks, "Can you give me a cigarette lighter for my Yugo?" "Sure, sounds like a fair trade to me." What do you call a Yugo with a flat tire? A write-off. What do you call a Yugo at the top of a hill? A miracle. What do you call the Yugo owner's manual? The bus timetable. How can you double the worth of a Yugo? By filling its gasoline tank. What is this? Oh, this one hit home. What is the smallest part of a Yugo? The owner's brain.
Oh, wow.
What do you call someone who buys a second-hand Yugo? A scrap dealer. What does a Yugo buyer do to look sophisticated? Wears dark glasses. Why do they give away free TVs with Yugos? So you've got something to do while waiting for the mechanic to come fix it. And here's the last one. What do you call a Yugo with twin exhausts? A wheelbarrow. Dude, those are they're kind of funny now because it's not my world anymore. But at the time, dude, it was. You don't want those kind of jokes flying at you.
Did you read all of those the day after you bought your Yugo?
That'd be funny if those were in the owner's manual.
Right.
Like important information, page 3, and it's just all these jokes.
I remember in the movie Dragnet with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks. Mm-hmm. At one point, they request a new vehicle because their car exploded, and they give them a Yugo, but it's not like a standard Yugo. It's short for Yugoslavian import.
Yeah.
And it's like the car is just barely bigger than they are, you know. It looks like a weird roller skate.
I think that's what Yugo stands for. It's I think that's what it stood for. I knew it was it was manufactured in Yugoslavia. Yeah. Which I don't even think that country exists anymore. And that same mechanic, he told me to go to this place called Pick Aparts. And I had a backpack, and he put the little motor or whatever. I think it was the motor, or something. It was something to do with the motor. And I put it in my backpack. I don't know if it was the entire motor. It might have been. And I remember it was just digging into my back because it was all heavy and like pointy and metal and iron. And I drove I rode my bike like the 7 miles across town to the nearest pick apart place that he told me to go to. And there's like some fat redneck guy behind the counter, and he's like, your catalog book's over there. You look for car, and then it'll tell you where the part is. And so I get the catalog, and I'm going through. I'm like, okay, Honda, Toyota, Volkswagen, and then when I get to the Y section, Yugo, I open up the page and it said, "We do not carry parts of cars that are manufactured in communist countries."
Wow.
I know, and I was like, "Well, damn, that guy could have just told me that, like when I got there." But
yeah, that's a hard stance.
yeah, and it sucked. It's like I was like, "Oh," so I remember having to go back to the mechanic, and I told him what happened, and he goes, "All right," and then they finally somehow they figured something out and got the car going. But man, that was that car. I remember that there was the good points on the of having a really tiny light car like that is it was very easy to park, and it was easy to push because it did break down a lot. But you could actually push it, and then I remember I used to push start it myself, which is dangerous. But I would get it running like the Flintstone, and then hop in and boom boom put it in first, and then it would just take off. So that was one time. It was very.
So you had to get a running start.
Yeah, you did, and you could. Yeah, and I remember in San Francisco, one of the scariest experiences. I was on a hill at a stoplight, and the engine died.
Oh.
Yeah, and it wouldn't. And I turned the key, and it'd be a zip, 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 zip. And man, we had to we pushed. We let it roll backwards, and boom, and it kicked in, and it was like freaking scary, dude. Like that.
Yeah.
Was, you don't want to go, going down a hill backwards, like, and that's when the thing kicks in. Whew, man.
Well, over to get to the Comedy Store, you have to go up La Cienega.
Yeah.
If you're coming from one direction. And I really try and avoid it most of the time, but every now and again I have to go up that hill on La Cienega, and you have to make sure it's clear to turn onto Sunset. And so a lot of times you'll be right at the top of the hill, but before your car has anything to kind of like grab onto.
Yeah.
And so you're just entirely relying on your brake to not roll back into all the cars behind you that are trying to do the same thing. And like every once in a while, there's almost every time I've tried to do that and got like a red light and had to wait there, someone will pull up behind me and they'll pull up like 1 inch away from my bumper.
Yeah.
And it's like, how hills work, idiot. Don't do that,
I know.
As soon as I let off this brake, it's going to roll back a little at least,
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I love it when I've gone up that hill and it's a green light. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. What'll happen, though, is you got to be careful because there will be people crossing the street from Pink Dot or whatever, and even on a green light, and so you're like, I may have to run you over because I've built up enough momentum to get over the hill,
I know another scary drive was going down to the Long Beach Laugh Factory, and you cross that bridge. I think it's called the San Thomas Bridge or something like that. And man, that's a very high bridge, and I think it's a span or something. That's a freaky thing, and I had to do it once at night in the rain, and it was just like you feel like the wind's blowing you, and your car's moving around. You're on these metal grates. You're like, phew. That's another like that, and that La Cienega. Those are two places I don't like to drive if I can avoid it.
Yeah, that's real bad. Another thing that used to happen to me, I used to drive a much bigger car. It was a Mercury Grand Marquis, which is similar to like what cops were driving at the time, the Crown Vics, but it was just like a little bit more of a luxury car, but it was a used car and it had power, everything, but each of the things died in it. That's the problem with if you're not rich and you have a luxury car, you just slowly watch each of the cool things in it die.
The navigation. The
auto windows. You better hope they're up because they're gonna die. The cigarette lighter, all the shit would just slowly dissipate.
Yeah, you're like, how do I charge my phone? Oh, you got to bring a portable battery with you.
But there's a thing with trucks or big cars like that most people don't know. and definitely most valets don't know. And in LA, you have to use a valet a lot of the time when you park at a place.
Yeah.
Which is those big vehicles like that. If they have power steering, that's going to be the thing that goes quickest, because if you do stationary turns where you're not moving at all,
Yeah.
the pressure is so intense that the hose will just bust. And so you have to get it replaced all the time. And you try and explain that to a valet and they're like, just give me the keys. And, and as soon as they get behind it, they immediately start doing all these turns on it without it moving at all to take any of that pressure.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just a day or two till that busts now.
Oh my gosh, that totally reminds me. I had to valet the Yugo once in LA, and we came down here I was in a music video back in the 90 or something years ago, and I was given. You're right, with the car like that, you got to give all these instructions to the valet, like 3 things, like, okay, you got to let it warm up for 30 seconds. Do not move the car until 30 seconds have gone up. Also, when you do, and they're just like looking at you like, just move it along, pal.
You're going to want to turn on the radio. Don't turn on the radio.
Yeah.
And I've never once used a valet in LA where I left and got home and they hadn't turned the brights on for no good reason.
Yeah. Move the seat up super close to the steering wheel. You're like, dude.
Yeah, and sometimes you're not thinking and you'll get out of your car and leave and the brights are still on, and it's like just drains your battery overnight,
The Honda, my first Honda that I had was a used Honda, and for whatever reason, every time you would turn the car off and you turn it back on, it would reset all the radio stations to whatever the automatic. Yeah, and one of them was a Spanish channel. So whenever I would park at the Comedy Store parking lot, turn the car off, and then at the time there was I don't know if you knew Chewy or not, but Chewy was the parking lot guy.
Right.
Yeah, he thought I was messing with him because every time you turn it on, there's like ranchero music would play, and he was he's like, "Oh man, I thought you were fucking with me." I go, "No, I swear to God, Chewy, I'm not." And then I showed him and then he goes, "Oh man, I thought this whole time he thought I was just trying to do a trick."
Hilarious.
Yeah, and I was like, "I'm not messing with you, dude." I'm like,
There goes that racist Darren Carter.
Exactly. Oh, this will put Chewy in a good mood.
Yeah.
Chewy,
I don't think I ever saw Chewy in a good mood. He was always really busy trying to shuffle all the cars around in there.
Oh my gosh, that's a stressful, man. That's like Tetris back there sometimes where they're like,
like an 8-hour shift of Tetris.
Yeah, and Tetris mixed with some of the pieces may come in with egos and stuff. Like, you don't know who I am, and giant. They were telling me that there's
and most of them don't tip,
Right, and they were saying there was how can I say this without giving away who it is? Well, basically, a long time ago there was a comedy team, and they would both pull up together in separate vehicles, and they both lived like 2 blocks from the store. That's what they said. They were like they could have just walked there, or they could have just took one car, but yet they take 2 cars and they live right nearby. It's like, dude.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, things like that where you're like, oh, these are things that you think of when you're parking cars. You're like, no other world would we ever even care about that. But we're like, they told me that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. That's messed up.
Yeah, pretty funny and pretty awful at the same time.
Yeah. I know. Dude, I still have a good habit, though, from having that broken down. Well, 2 things I learned out of adversity with the Yugos and the cars that would break down. I always carry running shoes in my trunk in case I got to walk a long way, just in case. And I've also been I do the AAA. I always update that membership every year. So in case you got to get towed 100 miles, I'm like, okay with it, because you don't want to let that lapse. And then you're actually paying, for a tow truck.
Yeah.
Or having them come
smart tips. I would have some water in the trunk too, or something,
Oh yeah, I always carry water. That's true, right? And for a while, I think I carried a fire extinguisher because I saw some fire on the road, like on some car, and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And then I don't know. For whatever reason, I got rid of that habit. I'm like, you're lugging this fire extinguisher around. You know.
Mhm.
Oh, it's good to have snacks. Sometimes I have snacks in the car, like the little like trail mix or whatever, like mixed nuts, just so I'm not starving. You know, when you're driving, because then there's nothing worse than being like stuck in traffic. You're hungry. You're like and then you just get road rage, or make bad decisions, and you're just like, I'm going to the next drive-through. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, I would say any food in your car in LA, I would be careful. I would put it in like a sealed case of some kind
Yeah.
and not get it, because I don't know if you've ever been to like a city Walgreens, but I saw this happen. Rats will
Yeah.
jump up under someone's car
Wow.
and climb in through the air conditioning
Oh gosh.
if they smell food, you know. And like I remember at the ArcLight seeing a dude's car, and I was like, oh, he's got like a little pet ferret or something like that in there.
Oh no! Really, you saw that? Oh wow!
And it was, the glove compartment was open, and I think he had like a power bar in there or something like that. And
Wow.
it was just going to town on it, and I was like, oh man.
Getting
Ever
more
since
buffed.
then, I was like, just keep food out of the car. Just, do not leave food in the car. In a city. I don't know. Out in the country, it may be different,
No, you're right. Because I think at the country is when I usually take the food out, because I think of all like the field mice or just random like country
Like,
critters.
I'd much rather have a field mouse, like open the door and find a field mouse in the car than find a rat.
I know. Ben, the two of us can use the carpool lane. Dude, can you imagine if you're driving and all of a sudden you think you see something in your rearview mirror and there's like a rat on the headrest of the passenger seat or something? Like,
or just on your headrest.
oh,
Hey, what's up? No.
hey, what's up? People are like, hey, Mike, I like your rat. You're like, what? My set?
Yeah.
My rack?
What?
My
No.
what? No, your rat. What? Stop. Yeah.
Well, and like, at one of the places that we go, I won't say which one, you valet park, and they may leave your windows down if it's hot or something like that, and it's like, that's just an open invitation to Mother Nature.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, that'll happen, or like, we've had a lot of rain lately. It'll just start raining, and it's like, that's 30 different cars that need their windows rolled up, at once.
Oh yeah. How did your place survive the rain? Did you get any leaks?
No, my place is pretty old and was built sturdy, I guess, and so not a lot of leaks. Every once in a while, one of the gutters will kind of overflow or something like that, but for the most part, it's pretty good.
Yeah, knock on wood. I think we got everything fixed. There was a little leak, and they I think I told you that, right? It was like late at night, and I heard the clock ticking extra loud, where it was like, and I'm like, why is that clock so loud? And then I look over, and I'm like, oh, that's dripping water, drip, drip.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh my gosh. Oh, I got a couple of trivia questions for you about cars. Are you ready? Let's see what you got.
Okay.
We'll do this till we're done. There's no points or anything. What is the best-selling car of all time?
Honda Civic.
Toyota Corolla.
It's close.
What country consumes the most gas? By the way, I don't know the answers, so we can both play. So what happens is if
Is that the whole question?
No, if I scroll over, then the answer is revealed. So I don't know either.
Okay.
What country consumes the most gas every year?
Probably ours.
I'd say so. I'd say America. Let's see. Yeah, the United States. We both win.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, what year is considered the birth of the modern automobile?
Eight. I guess it depends on the definition, but I'm gonna guess 1855.
1855? I think that was still horse and buggy. Okay.
Yeah, but it was like the horseless buggy was the first one, right?
What year is the? Yeah, I'd say it's
So
going to be.
maybe closer to like 1875.
Oh, I'm still picture cowboys. Okay, I'm gonna say 19. 10. Oh, well, what year did you say?
1875.
You win. 1886.
Okay.
You're closer. That was good.
Yeah. I kind of learned that from the last Red Dead Redemption game, where you're seeing a horseless buggy appear in town in the Old West, and that's like the first sign of trouble for cowboys.
Heck yeah. Dude, you know, people sometimes will put down like TV shows. Remember back in the day, they're like, kill your TV, read a book, or video games are a waste of time. I'm telling you, my cousin, he moved to New York and he knew his way around because of video games. Like he'd been playing some video game that took place in New York, and he goes, it's like I've been here before.
Probably like Grand Theft Auto, or even like the most recent Spider-Man games have pretty great maps of New York. The only thing is they have a lot of fictional locations in them that, you know, like Doctor Strange's house is on a certain street, and if you go there, it's just like a Starbucks or something, you know.
I know. Hey, now that I realize that it's a blind study or a blind question for both of us, we can actually compete against each other. Let's see who can get I don't know how many questions there are, but let's see who can get 20 answers right first, okay?
20 answers? We're doing 20 questions?
I guess. Well, let me see how many it has. I'm scrolling.
How about 7?
7? Okay, we'll do 7. All right, we'll do 7.
20. Nobody wants to hear 20 questions about.
By the way, you guys can play at home, which I'm sure you are. Okay. What is the most popular color for a car?
Black.
I'm going to say white. White? I mean, I'm right. By the way, I'm not cheating. It sounds like, hey, what do you know? I get every answer right.
You know why that's a great guess? Is because it's the preferred color for car thieves.
White is?
Yeah. Because they can immediately paint it any other color.
Oh, damn. I did not know that.
And so people are out looking, oh, where's my white car?
Wow. You're right. Because and a lot of the white cars do look alike. Like,
yeah. Now it's red or gold or whatever, you know, like it doesn't take them long to.
They always say like a red car draws the cops' attention, but then I've also heard that isn't necessarily true.
I think it depends on the make and model. If you have a red Ferrari, they get all excited because you're definitely going to get a speeding ticket.
What if you have a red Ferrari with the baby seat and a luggage rack?
They'll probably still give you a ticket.
I'm a family man. All right. What is this one I think we'll both get. What is the van in the popular cartoon show Scooby-Doo named?
That would be the Mystery Machine.
Mm-hmm. Correct. We both got that one.
I have a kind of funny story about that.
What do you got?
I did a commercial that was like a Capital One credit card commercial, but it was Santa and his elves talking about the Capital One card. And we go to lunch, and I'm one of the elves, and it's on the Universal backlot. So the Universal tour bus goes by, and they see all these elves out there, and all the kids are like, "Yay, elves, we!" And we're like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Like I'd been on that tour as a kid, and now I was on the other side of it, so that was fun. But then they stop looking at us, and they see someone else, and they're like, they really start freaking out, and we're like, "Oh, who's better than elves?" And it's Santa, of course.
Yeah.
And Santa's like waving at them and getting all the attention, and the kids are like, "Ah, Santa! Holy cow, this is amazing!" Then they stop looking at him, and they don't care about him at all anymore. And kids are like trying to jump off the tram now. They're like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And behind Santa like turns around. And he's like, "Who's better than me?" Kind of like that.
Yeah.
And it's Scooby-Doo in a real mystery machine.
Oh, wow.
And he's waving at the kids, and they're just going berserk. It was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because you see Santas at malls, you see them everywhere, which is cool. But
and Santa's like, "I'm Santa. Kids, who's better to kids than Santa?" Oh, well, I guess Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine. You know, they don't get that back home ever, you know.
I know.
They see Santa every year, you know.
What was that phrase they used to say? "I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you and those meddling kids," or something like that.
Meddling kids, yeah.
Like, wow, Scoob. Love that stuff. I do that voice now. I used to do the Scooby-Doo thing back in the day when I was first started comedy. I'd find ways to do my Scooby-Doo stuff, and then I stopped. But then it came out again.
Wait, do you do Scooby or?
I used to do. What did I used to? I used to do the laugh. I used to do the.
That's really good. What about Did you do
Shaggy?
like Fred or Wilma or Shaggy?
No, I didn't do any of I didn't do those guys. I would mostly do Shaggy, a little bit of Scooby, and when this actually was said, and now I throw it in the set with when I'm talking about my son going, when he started getting those whiskers. When I first taught him to shave, because I go, Austin, you have whiskers on your chin. We need to. You're looking like Shaggy from Scooby Doo. Mm-hmm. And he said, like, wow, Scoobs, I'm going through pubes. Going through puberty, but I'm like, we're like, dude, don't say pubes anymore. That's
yeah. Pubes.
Scoobs, I'm going through pubes. Gosh,
do you know who voiced Shaggy originally?
I want to say it was Kasem.
That is absolutely correct.
Now we go to Mike Black. Mike had his car recently repaired. That's a terrible impression, but
Darren Carter is a young man who originally was going to join a biker gang.
He went by the name Tahoe Joe.
And now, on with the countdown.
Yeah.
And he was he voiced a lot of different people. I didn't know until after he died, and they listed off, and I was like, wow, nearly every cartoon that I ever watched, he did a voice on. And they have those tapes. Yeah, I guess you can hear them on YouTube and stuff like that of celebrities when they're recording a voiceover and they're in like a bad mood. They start singing every. Like the famous one is the Orson Welles one, but Casey Kasem had one, and you really felt bad for him because he was like, he gave some guy's eulogy, like let's say it was John, and he's like, and John Lennon just died, and blah blah blah, and his contribution will never be forgotten in music, and now on with the countdown, and then it was like dip, 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 just like some happy-go-lucky bullshit, and he was just like, he waits for the song to finish, and then he gets on and he goes, do you know how stupid that is, how disrespectful it is that I just talked about this guy and you play some dippy idiot stuff like that? You play a somber song, something sad,
I found it on YouTube, and in the comment section people say Casey hated this leaked tape at first but found it humanized him to fans, so he embraced it later on. Everyone's had an experience like that at work. Totally classic. People are like, I heard it in the 90s. Let's see if I can. I was going to play a little bit of it. Let's see.
Before you do that, you know who he was married to?
I don't know.
You remember in Ghostbusters when Rick Moranis is throwing that party in his apartment, and there's this like really pretty blonde who's like about 6'2" or something like that.
Wow.
And she's like, Lewis, I'm going home. She's like, kind of her thing was to play like sort of a bimbo sort of character.
Yeah.
That's his wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, I just learned that very, very recently. I thought that was neat.
Let's see what we got here. Here we go.
Now, we're up to our long-distance dedication. And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio, and here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's go start again. I'm coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. See, when you come out of those up-tempo goddamn numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions. And then you got to go into somebody dying. They do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but goddamn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. This is last goddamn time. I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is, that's up-tempo, and I gotta talk about a fucking dog dying. Oh, this is fucking ponderous, man. Ponderous, fucking ponderous.
Oh, yeah, non-stop music. Rick Dees, let me get that phone. All right, you got a special request?
Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication.
No problem. We'll play it for you. Here's the death dedication, just for you.
Oh, dude, that was
Rick D's in the morning.
that was gold.
There.
That was gold, man. That was funny.
Rick D's in the morning.
Rick D's in the morning. Have you ever heard this one? I found this one today.
Rick D's wrote the theme song for the movie Meatballs.
He did?
Yeah.
I met Rick Dees at an airport. He was so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of the first times I learned that, that DJ doesn't have to live in town. You know?
Oh, yeah, where he'd be like, yeah.
Syndicated, you know. Darren, try not... Don't,
well, Kevin McCarthy may...
Oh, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
This is kind of like Casey Kasem's frustration. Don't have a turkey dinner laid out in front of you while we're doing the podcast, because it's obvious you're eating and drinking.
No,
you'll ask me a question and then take another bite of pudding or whatever.
Yeah. So, Mike, tell me about the... No.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing over there?
I'm actually not. I'm trying to look up some... See, I don't have a producer, so I got to do it myself. I got to do it myself. Hold on. Let's just see if this is the one. No, I don't think that's the one. Hold on 1 second.
The William Shatner ones are really good.
Oh, those are... I know. I like those. And then I found this one today because they released that video with Paul Pelosi and the hammer with the... Whatever that was going on with that, with the dude with the hammer.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It's trippy because they have body cam footage and they're both just standing there and he has a drink in his hand and he's hanging on to the... he's got a drink in one hand and the hammer in the other. They're both touching the hammer and they're like... Hey guys, it's just weird, man. It's just, but that hammer expression reminded me of that when this newscaster guy lost it. Here, listen to this one.
Another TV host is in the news today for blowing his top. That's MSNBC's Lawrence O'Donnell losing it during the commercial breaks on his show.
Jesus Christ.
The video, which was leaked to the website Mediaite, shows O'Donnell in a growing state of anger as he's distracted by noise in his earpiece and some guy with a hammer.
Stop the hammering. Stop the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer? Where is it?
I don't know.
Where's the hammer? Is it on the... Go up on the other floor. Somebody go up there and stop the hammering.
Today, O'Donnell is apologizing. A better anchorman and...
Anyways, and then they did like a remake. I won't play it, but they did like, well, why not? I'll play a little bit of it. Check this out. Hold on, MC Hammer. Listen. You got to hear this.
5, 4, 23 seconds.
There's insanity in the control room tonight. You have insanity in my earpiece. Stop the hammering. Stop the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer? Where is it?
I don't know.
Where's the hammer?
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Is it on the... Go up on the other floor. Somebody go up there and stop the hammering.
Stop. Hammer time. Go with the flow.
Anyways, you guys can check that out later.
Stop hammer time from happening.
I know. Man, when I first saw MC Hammer, his music, his videos, that blew me away to see all those people on the stage, like dancing, and the stuff was so upbeat. I was like, I'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how he went broke.
Right, 100 backup stage dancers.
I think his payroll each month was $3 million at his height, you know. And like one guy was like, it was crazy. It was like one guy was there to feed another guy donuts, and that guy cost like $7,000 an hour or something, you know.
Okay, let's get back to this trivia real quick. And you can pass if you want to.
Now,
Yeah, go ahead.
on with the countdown.
And now, on with the countdown. What year was the first electric traffic light invented?
Ooh, it depends on what they mean by electric, because they had the ones that had like the little signs that would pop out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 1905.
I read that the first speeding ticket was in 1902. So I'm gonna guess the first electric. You said 1905. I'm gonna say 1904.
Okay.
You win again. It's 1912. 1912.
That's what you get for Price is Righting me.
I know. I'm a jerk. Okay. Do we want to do this one? What is the world's largest automotive company? Or we could skip it.
Right now, I don't know who that would be. Maybe Toyota?
I'm going to say Ford. You know what? In a way, I'm kind of cheating because there's a black bar over it, and it's a really long black bar. So I'm thinking the honest part of me is going, I know if Ford is only, let me just look at the answer. Yeah, Toyota Motor Corporation. What did you? Is that what you said?
So you cheated and you still got it wrong.
Well, I didn't cheat. I was going to cheat. And you got it right? Did you get it right?
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay.
I almost said Tesla, but I was like, I don't think that's true at all.
Yeah. I think that, yeah. See, I also don't want to cheat. So, what is the name of the automobile that Batman drives? Oh, I know that.
Well, there's two now.
Gosh.
The Batmobile and the Tumbler.
Yeah, the Batmobile is the answer. I won't count that one.
He also drives the Batpod, the Batcopter.
Oh, here's a good one.
The Batwing, and the Bat Jet Ski.
Oh, it's funny. I was watching the Batman movie, the first one, and
the Adam West one. Or
that was. I like it where they're hanging off a rope and a helicopter and there's a shark and.
I'll tell you, if you haven't seen it, watch it. Just if for no other reason than the bomb disposal scene.
Okay.
Where Batman has like an old timey, like bowling ball shaped bomb with a fuse in it. And all he's trying to do is get rid of the bomb in a safe place. And it's so great. Everywhere he runs to get rid of it, a more innocent group of people it happens to be in the area. And Adam West is just so charming and so funny that he really sells it. It's great comedy. It's really, really funny. And the whole movie is a lot of fun, and they did some really inventive stuff. And but it's worth seeing just for the Batman trying to dispose of that bomb.
That's cool. I got to watch that scene. So far, score is Darren 1, Mike 2. Next question. What was the first?
Well, I got the Batmobile one right too. So that's
Oh, okay. I didn't count that one because I also was. Well, I didn't say it, but I was thinking Batmobile.
You have 2 points, and I have 3.
All right. But didn't we tie on that one because we both got Batmobile?
Yeah, that's what I said. You got a point for it, so now you have 2.
Oh, I got you. So it's 2-3.
You know how scoring works, right?
Yeah. I thought it canceled each other out because we both tied. We both got Batmobile.
No, it just adds to the score.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay.
So we don't both look like idiots after 20 questions.
We canceled each other out.
I only got one right, and Darren didn't get any.
What was the first foreign car company to come to America?
Probably Volkswagen.
I'm going to say Mercedes. Okay. The answer is Volkswagen. Damn it.
What's the score now?
Mike has 4. Darren has 2. I think you're going to get this one. Oh, I know the answer. What car is used in the 1985 film Back to the Future?
Oh, that would be the DeLorean.
DeLorean, correct. Yes, we both got it. So you're saying we should both get a point? Okay, now it's 3-5. How am I going to catch?
Officially guess before you read the answer.
I know.
I'm going to give you that one.
What year was antifreeze invented?
Let's see. It would have to be when freezing became a problem.
Yeah, right. When the motors kind of got better, and then they were like, "Hey, stuff keeps freezing."
I'm gonna say somewhere during like World War II, they probably did that. So 1942.
I'm gonna say 1935. Answer is 1926.
Ooh, wow.
All right. So now it's 4-5. I have 4. You have 5.
Okay.
All right.
Now it's getting intense.
The earliest known use of the steering wheel was in what year? That's dumb. What'd they have before a steering wheel? Levers or something?
Yeah, levers and pulleys and shit. I'm gonna go with 1890.
I'm gonna say 1910.
Are you sure that's one where you want to move your big chess piece?
Yeah. 1910. Okay. You say 1890?
Yeah.
I say 1910. The answer is 1894.
Yep. I'm the best.
Okay. All right. What was the name of the 1969 Dodge Charger in Dukes of Hazzard?
Oh, it's a controversial one now. And the General Lee.
General
also had a rebel flag on the hood.
That's right, the General Lee. The General Lee. We both got that. 5-2. You got it. You win. 7.
Yay!
This is just a bonus question. What would be your guess? Which U.S. city has the worst traffic?
Ooh, probably Los Angeles.
I'm gonna say New York.
Yeah.
The answer is we both got it wrong.
Is it Boston?
Washington, D.C.
Oh, Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Washington, D.C., so that's not too much of a shocker. I do remember going to Boston, and traffic was so bad that people were just getting out of their car and doing errands in the middle of the street in one area.
They were like, they were so pissed. They were just like, this. That's where they got the Boston Tea Party. They're like, just dump some tea. I got some rage here.
Yeah.
Dump the tea into the harbor. There is something nice about no traffic and being in your car and hearing some good music or a podcast and just tooling on down the road. I love that. I don't like bumper-to-bumper traffic at all. Especially listening to like some angry heavy metal where you're like, argh! So I learned don't do that. Don't listen to Metallica or anything that has
when you're in traffic, that's psychotic. Yeah.
Exactly. Anything with like a high BPM, you're like, but you're not even moving. You're just like,
yeah.
It's funny. I have Sirius XM, so I listen to whatever I want to listen to, like when I'm driving on the road, like the Elvis channel. Lately, I've been listening to like 70s, more like memorabilia type stuff. Some of the Frank Sinatra stuff, a little bit of only if if I'm in the mood. But usually, I can always go to like a 70s channel, an Elvis channel. Love that stuff. But in the parking garage, or if I go through a tunnel or anything like that, any kind of parking garages like this, you lose the signal. So I've learned if I put it on an FM channel, like 9 times out of 10, it's nothing but commercials because they play so many commercials on FM radio.
Oh, yeah.
So now I've learned to tune my FM dial to a classical channel, even though I don't know what I'm listening to, but it's kind of cool because it might be like Mozart or, something like that. So at least it's calming and it's relaxing and that kind of
vibe. They play commercials on those channels too, though, don't they?
Not really. It's mostly them asking for donations. It's kind of like a podcast.
That's what it is. No one wants to sponsor classical music.
Right. They're not like
listen to this.
Yeah, like Mozart brought to you by Speedweed.
That would be fantastic if that was happening.
Yeah, so it's much like a podcast, but Mike, it was great spending the hour with you. And I want to thank the listeners. You guys check out Mike on Instagram. He's always got a lot of cool, fun stuff. And if you get a chance, like I said earlier, give it a thumbs up on YouTube. go leave a comment on YouTube. And
I'm at Mike Black is back.
And you know what you posted, which I thought was really cool. It was Bela Lugosi, the Dracula. I love that on Instagram. Where did you get that from?
I got it from a local toy show called Frankensons, and it's just this big sprawling warehouse full of like different kinds of collectibles, action figures, comic books, baseball cards, you name it. And it's free, and they do it every Wednesday and Saturday, I believe. And sometimes they'll have like old wrestlers come and sign autographs and stuff like that. It's if you live in LA, it's worth checking out at least once.
The details on that was amazing.
Oh yeah, that was an action figure of Bela Lugosi as Dracula that this company NECA did. And what they do is they get like the estates to approve the likenesses of their figures so that it looks like I have a tiny version of Bela Lugosi, like it's that
cool.
Authentic looking. And with him, a lot of people think, well, they didn't have like laser scans back then, so how did they get it so accurate? Well, he was in a lot of horror movies, and they would do these life masks of people, for makeup. And so they can model it off his actual face, and it looks really accurate.
Yeah. I did a comedy show at a steakhouse in Santa Fe Springs, which is near Norwalk. And there was a comic, shout out to Grace. She's huge into vampires and Dracula and all. I didn't know that. And she's like, yeah, my place is all like monstered out and, things from like the Dark Shadows. Remember Dark Shadows, that series?
Yeah, yeah.
She said she had, I want to say she had some kind of surgery or something. So she got like big box sets of these shows and would watch them and got really into them. And this conversation came about because she was wearing a shirt and it had Bela Lugosi on it. But the bar that we were in is already kind of dimly lit. And, and this shirt had been washed a few times, so it was a little bit faded. And I go, who is that? And she goes, take a guess. And I didn't want to say like, is that Bela Lugosi? Meanwhile, it's like, no, it's my boyfriend, or something.
Yeah.
So that's how she told me that's what it was. But it was pretty funny because I literally thought, I was like, is that Morrissey? Is it, who is, but I was thinking to myself, it's Dracula. But
yeah. I remember a friend having a shirt and I thought it was Boris Karloff. And I was like, oh, is that Boris Karloff? Because there's a black and white picture and not super detailed. And he was like, no, it's Keith Richards. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. You're like, ew. He's like, no, it's my grandma, bro. No.
I just didn't realize how similar their faces were until I saw that shirt. I was like, oh, okay.
That's funny. All right, Mike. Hey, man. Hey, have a great one, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again for hanging out with us on the Pocket Party Podcast.
Thanks for having me, buddy. Have a good one.
You got it. Oh, look at you. You made it all the way through. Another episode. You guys are great. Thank you so much. By the way, I'm available on Cameo. If you want to get a celebrity shout out, I'll do a shout out to you or your loved one or someone for their birthday or a little pep talk. I do them all the time, and I like doing them. And you give me a few personal details. Just go to Cameo, and the link is below. So check out the Cameo link. And or you can go to cameo.com, search Darren Carter, and you'll see me. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to the Pocket Party.